bars in a ring. Man, I go hard, less than 10.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Touchline Fracas. I'm joined this week by two gentlemen whose teams also are no longer in the FA Cup. Not necessarily this weekend, but as much as this FA Cup weekend, there isn't.
Is that you trying to get the first punches in, or what? Like, what's going on?
I'm not trying to get the first punches. I'm hosting. I literally just host the podcast.
Oh,
You know, this is 11 years.
You don't normally start like that, though. You know what I'm saying?
I started all manner of ways, my good brother.
I'm trying to see what the angles are.
There's no angles whatsoever.
That seemed a bit violent, and I didn't like it.
There's no angles whatsoever. I'm just providing the context to listeners before I then go. I go on to introduce everybody. Before I start, I've got to do the usual plug, the socials. Touchline Fracas on x.com. You would have seen 11 years of Touchline Fracas, which is crazy to think about. Touchline community on YouTube. We're 40,000 away from 3K subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed today. Or subscribe. Well, when you'll be listening to it, it'll be Monday. So yeah, subscribe today. To get us to 3K. TikTok, Instagram, subscribe. Visuals coming. I think that's all. I'll also send out a message today, so you'll be listening to it and you'll see it today. Because a few people have reached out in like the DMs and whatnot to ask about opportunities to join as content creators across the various pods in the network. So look out for that message today too. All right. With that being said, like I said at the top, couple guys whose team aren't in the FA Cup, so they don't watch in their team this weekend. Let me go around and introduce them. Koogs, still got Martinelli and Saka in the background. Black don't crack. I don't know. White men can't jump. I don't know what film, what Hollywood black and white duo film you want to refer to with these two in the background.
Lethal Weapon, yeah, he liked that one. Yeah, that's a good.
I guess so. Who's lethal and who's an absolute weapon?
Boy, I don't even know, man. Yeah, definitely in Bad Boys.
It's been a few weeks. How you doing, brother? You good?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Yeah, I haven't been on for a while, man.
You're saying you actually the damn fool on your Twitter account. So
yeah, I heard that last week. I don't even know what you're referring to, man. I don't even know.
Just the whole Koogs experience. Just it felt like daily like you just be sitting there.
Yeah, it's literally that.
All of your 140 characters, boy.
You know the ones where it's like you're walking down the street and then you just remember one time you did something mad, yeah, and then your whole demeanor drops, yeah. You're like, random tinge of anxiety for 30 seconds. But for me, it's not that. It's I just remember a random Arsenal performance from earlier in the season.
I agree.
I'm just walking, yeah, and then I see someone wearing a blue shirt. I'll just think, we really drew to Everton 0-0.
I hear you, man. I'm not obviously down that bad because we're just shit. And basically, any team we play, I don't think we're the favourites. It's a crazy way to experience football.
Nasty work.
We'll get into that. Work. I'm also joined by the good brother Yaw. How you doing, Yaw?
Listen, man. It's been a long time since I've been on the podcast. Yeah. But I'm healthy, living well. I believe that it's been a nasty and stinky season for Spurs, but there's nothing else I can do right now in life but smile from the failures of those around me. You know, hey, if you step in shit and other people step in shit, we all smell like shit together. And that's where we're at right now. So enjoy it. Yeah,
I guess that's a way to look at it. I think in old school terms, that's the blood of my enemies. But I completely understand your closest rivals have, I wouldn't say bottled the title race, but they haven't made it as close of a battle as we would have anticipated.
I think some people could argue that they bottled it.
We can get into that very quickly. And then you look at us and there's also another Big Six team doing even worse than you. So then that's also something to not feel so bad about. So I guess, we take our silver linings where we can get them, right?
Exactly.
Let's quickly talk about the FA Cup. I'm sure neither of you went to great troubles to watch many of the games, but we just came off losing a penalty shootout against Fulham. 5-3. Xerxes and Lindelof there with a couple misses to make sure that we didn't go for the last 8, which is probably just a relief. Like a couple less games I have to watch this team. What did you guys think of the game today? The performance of the two teams. Dan, Chido Obi, are you buying any stocks?
Not really, to be honest. I think Arsenal fans, they need to relax a little bit on that one, to be honest. Like the kid, I think he's 17 years old. Yeah. I think at the time when he even did the transfer, I thought it was just like people are making too much of it. Yeah. Because for me, I think he was 16 when Fabrizio is doing all these transfers. And I do feel a little bit of a way about how some of these academy talents are talked about now. I think football is just getting like younger and younger and younger and younger, and I don't think it's for the betterment of the sport really. Like I'm seeing these man in his TikTok comments and this, that, and the other, yeah, and like fair enough, this guy is a 16, 17-year-old kid, so he's going to be moving mad, but there's guys that I know who are like, you're in your 20s, some of you are in your 30s, I know some of you got families, and that like you actually can't be hating on a 17-year-old kid with all your heart like that, to me. So I think the whole back and forth for the Arsenal fans is just very weird. There's so much that can happen in a young player's career. If he wants to leave the club to go to United or whatever, let him go, man. Like fundamentally, players come and go. Yeah, I'm not going to be losing sleep over no 16-year-old kid, really and truly. And then he came on in the game today. I think he looked like a 17-year-old, really. When we saw the highlights, him scoring 10 goals, this, that, and the other in the under 18s, the guy's already 6'3", playing against kids who haven't, hit puberty yet. You'd expect him to really have an advantage over them, and the real test is going to be when he plays the 21s regularly, when he plays men's football regularly, and he looks like a kid out there, to be honest. I don't think it's really fair to judge him with any sort of firm opinions or anything like that. So if I was United, I'd probably loan him out, go Holland, somewhere, Austria, country like that, where he can play, really refine his game, get used to playing against men, because really I don't think he can have any sort of meaningful minutes in your first team from looking at him right now.
Boy, it was more dangerous than Højlund, I'll tell you that.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a big indictment on him, on Højlund.
On Højlund,
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you've listened to the pod, so you know how we feel about it. But
how much did Rasmussen cost again?
73 million euros, I believe.
Jesus Christ, Lazarus, bro. That's toilet money, flushed, because he has not been worth it.
Wait, was that a bar that you just said? That's toilet money flushed. Yeah, money flushed away. So it's toilet money. Okay, sorry. Let me not explain the bars, but that was good.
Take your time. Don't do it.
The bars are meant to speak for themselves, Koogs.
Take your time. It's right.
Yeah, it is a damning indictment. But this is who we have. Like the guy, he can't beat defenders in like one-on-one physical battles like Chido Obi did. He can't even get himself clear opportunities to really get a striker goal like Chido Obi did. And he very rarely finds himself in any sort of space to do anything threatening. So
do you think that's down to confidence?
Probably plays a bit of a part, because obviously he had goal droughts last season, but what he showed last season is that he could actually finish when given an opportunity. He's not even getting chances, and it's so interesting because a lot of people be like, well, he's a striker, he can't get chances because the team aren't feeding him any chances. But what you see is that strikers make their own chances by the moves they make, by their ability to dominate the defenders in their physical duels. You then give your teammates an option to hit you, an option to play it down the channel, because you can actually beat your defender there. Højlund, I don't really know what to do with him, to be honest with you. Like, how much would we get if we tried to sell him now? Would we get 30 mil?
I reckon you get
on the project side, like he's what, 22, 23. He's a project. 30 mil.
Where do you think you'd sell him to for 30 mil?
I don't know. I'm not a buying club. I'll just put a figure out there. The market can decide. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think if you put him on the shop window, you go the whole summer with no response. No.
One of them. How long's he got left on his contract?
I think a couple of years, maybe.
It's one of them ones where it's one of them ones you loan him out.
Yeah, somebody you loan him out.
You loan him back to
3 years. It was a 5-year deal, and this is the second season.
Yeah, you loan him back to Italy. Hope he gets a decent purple patch, and then try sell him after that, man. But he's looking like a poor player. To be honest, it looks very bad. I've got a question for you, Morayo, because obviously it's your team. Yeah, so like, where do you stand now on Amorim, his future, the style of play? Like, where do you stand on the team? Like, what's going on?
I'm the host. I'm not
no one's thinking.
I'm the host. I'm not answering any questions today.
Wait, here's another question on top of that.
I haven't answered the first question. How you asked?
Yeah, that's why we're here to help you. This is fair. Yeah, now that Amorim's been here for a certain amount of time, would you have rather you just gone the whole season with Ten Hag?
No. So to answer your first question, I think Amorim, if he's saying that for him to be successful, his team needs he needs specialists who can play the specific position. So defenders who can defend out wide and they're really good at progressing the ball. You need like 2 really good wing backs. Dogu, I think, has looked like a solid signing at left wing back. You need 2 central midfielders because this Ugarte or Bruno or Ericsson or Casemiro bunch of options we have are not it. Then your front line is Xerxes, Højlund, Garnacho. Like, look at the names I'm mentioning. Look at the team that's out there. I don't blame him for the fact that we're struggling. We don't really have any good players. And then the talented players that we've had and the players who've played well this season are all out injured. Lissandro's out. Amar Diallo is out this season. Mainu's out this season. And now you've got Rashford, who wasn't playing well on the pitch, but in terms of like talent within the actual club, was one of our 2 or 3 best players, right? So he really doesn't have anywhere to turn. He's absolutely wedded to this way of playing. Maybe you could argue that if he played another formation, it may make the team a little bit more solid, but the quality isn't there. And for me, I'm a bit skeptical about investing another 200, 300 million into giving him the team he needs, because I don't know how successful that ultimately is going to make us. I mean, as far as like dress rehearsals go, or like, giving your fans and the team a little bit of hope that if we give this guy some money, he can really do some stuff. This has gone as badly as it possibly can. I quite literally go into every game thinking we aren't going to win. Physically second best everyone we play in the league. And we can't score any goals. We're physically second best, technically second best. We can't score any goals. We can't keep goals out. This is as dire. This is dire as it's ever been, because there was also the money to fall back on to help you reinvest into the squad and help you improve. And there was always like 2 or 3 really talented players that if we could just add some pieces around, you could be really pushing for those top 4 and beyond. I don't see it at the moment. And I think if he continues like this, it's very hard for them to keep him, really.
You reckon they'll get rid of him before the end of the season?
No, I don't think before the end of the season. I think he'd see out the season and then in summer.
That would be the biggest waste of time ever, though, surely. Like, if you've let him go the whole season, you might as well get him some players, no?
Exactly.
What would be, because basically you have the strategy for letting him last the season is that you're writing this season off. He's going to see what players he can work with, which ones he can't. You're going to move them on. You're going to get the guys in he can work with, and then you go from there. And I feel like if you sack him at the end of the season, it would just be an enormous waste of time, because then the new manager that you're getting is going to be starting from zero again, right? So he has to get next season and a window.
Why does he have to?
Because it's just like, it's literally, you've just wasted like so much time. Yeah.
Listen, sometimes we just feel like you have to give somebody time because that's what we do.
No.
Accept you made the wrong decision and move on swiftly. But then
my thing is, you should just sack him now then.
No, what actual manager are you going to bring who's going to be the next manager of the team at this stage in the season? You're gonna whoever you bring in is gonna be an interim.
So it's just a money thing.
It's not just the money thing, but what you're going to bring in a manager to see out the next 2 months, then bring in another manager in the summer to then take over. Just see out the season. We're basically just saying, give him more time because giving people more time is what you do. But if you're just objectively judging it, but players or not, quality or not, investment or not, just from a tactical perspective and putting his team in the best position to navigate games, what you've seen so far, has he given you any reason why you should give him more money?
Is that what he's doing though? That's not what he's doing.
Yeah, I think it's a bit harsh.
No, he's not. Do you think he's going out there saying, lose, guys? Guys, lose, don't look good. Guys, go out there, lose.
The way I'm reading the situation is he is saying we are going to play my system no matter what. Yeah.
So man can learn it and understand it.
So these men can learn it and I can really evaluate them.
Yeah.
I don't think he is trying to say, all right, look, we've got Man City coming up, therefore we're going to have this plan. We've got Aston Villa coming up, therefore we're going to have this plan. He's not trying to do the whole adaptive thing. He's saying, look, this is my system.
But the system is quite simply a bunch of players in positions on the pitch. How you use that to navigate winning games week in, week out should differentiate as a coach. You don't just say go out there, like you can still play your 3-4-3, but you can still adapt. You can press high some games, you can mid block some games, you can low block. So there are things you can do.
So are you saying you're not? Are you saying you're not seeing enough of that? You're not seeing enough of that.
Nothing's really improving.
Nothing is really on some of the players that you've got.
What do you say?
Nothing is on some of the players that you got because some of these players were signed before.
No, I very clearly said at the start, that these players aren't good. So I'm not really, denying anything about the quality of the players.
Because before he arrived, you were on what minus 3 goals.
We were 4 points or 4th before you arrived.
Yeah, this is crazy. Still,
I don't know.
It's crazy.
That.
What do you mean you don't know about that? Quite literally, man said I don't know about what the actual facts were. It was quite.
Wait. You're saying before he arrived. Before he arrived, where were you in the league when Ten Hag got
4 points or 4th?
But where were you in the league?
6th, 7th, 8th.
Okay, all right. So you weren't as low. Okay, cool.
Yeah, listen, the 15th. You weren't as low. What do you mean you weren't as low?
I'm not gonna lie.
We have I think best collection of players in the league. Say what you want about Xerxes. He's definitely not as bad as he's looked, right?
Yeah,
he's definitely. Do you understand what I'm saying? Say what you want about Garnacho. He might be as bad as he's looked, but the team is doing even worse with him. And I don't think you get to hide behind, we're just trying to play my system, so they're just going to be shit every single week.
Yeah.
You're being tactically tested week in, week out.
The thing that I think, though, why you should give him a summer is that he's not like he's clearly got some decent pedigree. Yeah, like he had them in the Portuguese league. Yeah, that's why I said decent. Right, that's why I said decent, and decent in Europe as well. Yeah, so I think
pedigree in Europe. What's his European pedigree?
I said decent. I think they got to semi. I think they got to semi-final.
I don't know what
they got semi-final of Europa. I think they got semi-final.
Yeah, I think they did one year.
With Sporting, and this season, obviously, he left halfway through the group stage, right?
But he also beat City on route before he left.
Yeah, but everyone's beaten City.
City haven't been good this season. We beat City with here as well.
We're
going into games against Ipswich and struggling. What's that got to do with players learning the system?
Yeah, it's peak.
The hard reset.
It's peak. Chelsea lost to Ipswich. Right?
Yeah,
Spurs
lost
to Ipswich.
Yeah, Spurs are not a serious franchise.
Yeah, that's true.
Look at who you're comparing. Spurs are not a serious franchise. So
that's true. We can't deny that. I'm not biased. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you.
I don't.
It's interesting.
Yeah, go on.
Are there any managers on your radar that you're looking to say, right, Amarim's not the guy. Let's bring this guy.
Arteta.
Where's the Arteta money, Bill?
Yeah, Arteta, he could coach something. I don't know, man. I think he will get the time. And listen, if he gets the time, I'm not going to be sitting here effing and blinding. But yeah, it's been
not approved, basically.
Some managers can do well if they have the tools. Some managers are good at getting the best out of a bad bunch of players. It's not like one size fits all that every manager who's a top manager, if you give him lesser players, they'll be able to get more out of them. we will have to see. He's going to get some investment because they're making people redundant left, right, and center. So this is all to enable him to be able to bring some players in. So I'll say that we'll see, but this has gone as badly as it could possibly have gone. And the players are as horrible as I've ever seen at this club. So it's a massive, massive, massive job. Because there's really, if you're asking me who do I see in the future iteration of Manchester United, probably Dorgu, Lissandro Martinez, Yoro, Mainu, I've got to say Bruno Fernandes, Ahmad. So it's like 6 players.
I know I was losing my mind a bit earlier.
But
you know, because I wasn't sure about something. And Ten Hag was sacked game week 9, right?
I don't know if it was game week.
I think it was after the West Ham game, he was sacked game week 9, something like that.
So, no, we can't something. If you're gonna try and pull receipts, it can't be something like that. It's got to be exactly. That's got to be exactly when he was sacked.
All I specifically remember is game week 9. Let me go do my research right now.
Yeah, please.
As it stands right now, on game week 8, sorry, you were 12th. Game week 9, you were 14th with -3 goals.
How many points were we off?
And you had lost to West Ham, correct? So game week 9, the week of game week 9.
Who was the next game we played?
I'd have to check, to be honest. But
how many points were we off the top 4?
No, I think you were right. I think you were 4 points off the top 4.
That's it.
But you said you were 6. No, you wasn't 6. You wasn't 4 points off the top 4. You were 7. But you know, it's neither here or there. You were 14th.
What's your point, sir?
My point was, that when he was sacked, you were 14th and in the bottom half of the league, which is what I remember at the point, And I didn't think it was going to get any better. That was my whole thing with Ten Hag and why he should be sacked. Now, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. And I understand the scowl on your face as to what Amarin's done. It's been absolute nonsense. He hasn't come and improved. He hasn't even stabled out the tide or anything like that. In fact, it's got worse. I don't know what your record is. Something like 5 wins in, 14 games or something like that. He's being too stubborn unnecessarily. And at this point right now, you've got injuries building up. And it's just getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
The problem with it right now is, I'm saying, for you United fans, same thing's happening at Spurs, but whatever. For you United fans, I don't think you're going to do what I would have expected United of old to do, to be ruthless, cutthroat. You know, you are United. You're going to go out there, spend money, get back up the league. I feel like they're going to give this guy a whole summer. So you're going to have to get the players that he needs. So this really is a baptism of just seeing who can't make the cut and who's likely to go in the summer. And I think players like Garnacho, I mean, he's had a few better performances in the last few weeks, but he could be looking at the door.
Yeah, the thing that I will find interesting is the summer, right? Because from what you've said, Morayo, I've not been keeping that close to what Amarim's been saying in his interviews, but just based off what you said, you're saying, you want centre backs who are comfortable defending in wide areas. You want more physicality in the centre midfield, more technicians at the top end of the pitch, etc. That to me is quite good profiling just generally for what modern football is, because it's like that's what you see at all the big clubs and what they're doing, right? Like you want your physical guys to dominate the middle of the park, obviously with the technical ability as well. You want your centre backs comfortable covering the wide areas, and you want the technical, fleet-footed players up the top end of the pitch. So to me, I think that sounds better than some of the recruitment under Ten Hag and his taste in players, etc. So, I personally would be interested to see what kind of players you're able to bring in. If money is limited, at least, then you might get some of the profiles, maybe not the top end quality, but if you've got, more guys at the 30 million mark who are, fast, powerful, at least physically can jug, that bodes well for the future, to be honest. So, and even if Amarim, it doesn't work out of him, at least you've got those guys who should be comfortable playing in more systems. So I think the issue is at the moment for United, based on the players that you have, whether you're playing a back 3, whether you're playing a back 4, whether you're playing 2 or 3 in the midfield, physically they can't really hang, and technically they can't really hang either. So, it sounds like even if you recruit guys for his system, they should still be like, good players.
Are United's funds limited?
Yes.
Like, is it really that bad?
Well, yeah, you're hearing about us making people redundant, so yes, it's that.
No, I just thought your chairman was a fatio. I just didn't take it as, oh, you man are broke.
Yeah, no, we don't have any money.
I honestly don't know what you're going to do in the summer, because there's a lot of players you probably need to shift to suit this system, and I can understand why there is a lack of respect for what Amarin's doing right now, because if he's unable to shift a fair number of players and get a fair number in early in the summer so that he could at least train with them, it's just going to be nasty.
Yeah, agreed. Let's go on to some other teams. Spurs. What's going on with you guys?
I can tell you firsthand, what is going on at my club is pure nonsense. Welcome to North London.
So you actually have to save about a point. I thought that was but you're plus 14. And we're -6 goal difference.
I think well, anyone that's been listening to the NSO chat have probably heard me on any other pod. My tune hasn't changed all season. I'm like, man are telling me, we just got to put all our eggs in one basket and go for the Europa League. And I'm telling man, you got to have some shame in your life. Honestly, you're there telling me about going out to win the Europa League. We're flipping, 13th in the league right now? I don't even know where we are exactly. 13th in the league. We've had 14 defeats. Brother, it's not even gone independence yet. 3 days away from shaking a leg, yeah? And man are on 14 defeats. We got to have some damn shame. There is nothing. I know, yes, people can say, winning a trophy can, I guess, stem the tide and whatever and all that kind of stuff, and it'll be nice and all that kind of stuff. But honestly, if you're doing terribly in the league, what does a trophy really do? Like, what does a trophy really and truly do for you? The thing that's annoyed me the most about this season is how Ange has used the injuries as an excuse for the poor and inconsistent results. But we've seen other clubs, Bournemouth for one, have multiple amount of injuries and manage their squad much better. We've seen other clubs now having their injury crisis, if you want to look at it like that. Yes, they have to manage it. Whatever, we'll see how that ends. City have had an injury crisis, not that matters because they've got like 4 squads anyway, but they've managed it. Like, other clubs have managed to get points. Some of the teams that we've lost to, on paper, we shouldn't be losing to. It's been an absolute farce. I can't wait for the season to be done. I don't know what we're going to do in Europa League. Like, I don't know why the bookies have us as favourites. Maybe favourites to go out, because I can't trust this club for nothing. But in terms of like, when we get to July 1st, I expect, there to be breaking news and that Kangaroo is sacked, because this is it's a travesty. How can you respect a club that's supposedly meant to be in the top 6, but is on 14 defeats? You're talking relegation.
Yeah, no, you're good for relegation. You'll be all right. That shouldn't be a worry for this season. I agree. Who do you think you're going to go for, manager-wise, or who would you like to see come in?
I've still stuck to what I said originally. If you're going to go for a whole project talk, you got to go with your own manager. I wanted Julian Nagelsmann. I don't think we're going to pry him away from Germany. But somebody in that mode, the manager, like similar to the strikers pool or strikers world, there's not really that many managers out there that you can like throw your hat on and be like, yeah, that's who I want in my club, blah, 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 all of that kind of stuff. It's really a project, find somebody who's a young up and starting manager and give them time, let them build.
You've got AZ Alkmaar, yeah.
We've been in Europa already this season.
And then you can face the winner of Ajax and Frankfurt.
I'll take Ajax if we get through. And
then semi against one of Bodo Glimt, Olympiacos, Pletzen, or Lazio. Come on.
You're back.
I don't want to face Lazio.
You're merging yourself into the background a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
Blending with
you surely you surely must be favourites.
Yeah, no,
Surely.
we definitely should be favourites, but come on now, 14 defeats. If you go and look at who we've lost to this season, you can't trust
those
them.
are Prem, but when you say those are Prem quality teams versus the quality you'll be going up against in the Europa League, I think you probably see those similar kind of quality teams at the final stage.
To Palace, Ipswich, Ipswich at home and Palace away. We didn't score, and we for both of those games we had a pretty strong enough squad. We didn't score in either of those games. Actually, no, we scored in the home game against Ipswich. We lost 2-1. We lost to Crystal Palace 1-0 away. We didn't score in that one, and we had pretty much our set defense in that game, and we were just absolutely awful. I think the only thing that works in our favor, especially with it being Europe, is that up until the final, it's a two-legged tie. So you can kind of fall apart or not fall apart.
The lane,
yeah. Well, the lane is not as strong as it used to be, but such as life.
You guys been worse at home, though, no?
I think it's a bit the same, to be honest. I think it's quite even in terms of how we've looked home and away.
So I think in the league you hadn't won at home for like 3 months or something, no?
Bro said,
pretty much the same away.
Koogs said,
I don't know. I think there was it's like one win since November.
It was like one win in like 2 months, but a lot of those games in that run was also away. So it was pretty much the same. The record was
fair enough. So what are you saying, Koogs? He knows United stats more than he knows Spurs stats, yeah?
Cool. Sometimes I got to look it up there.
I hear you, cool. And let's very briefly talk about a team that finds themselves out of the title race for the 3rd year in a row. Obviously, that was kind of punctuated by the 0-0 draw in the midweek against Nottingham Forest. Talk to us, Koogs. What next?
Did they have another draw? There was another draw.
No, we lost to West Ham. And then we drew with Forest. Yeah. What can I say, man? What can I say? I think it's been a real disappointing season from an Arsenal perspective. I feel like our league season just basically never got started. To be honest, I think one of the pods I came on early in the season, it felt like we were just unserious at the start of the year. Like some of the things that were happening, it just wasn't. It wasn't screaming. This is a team that's going to be competing for the title. I think there was just too many things that were, I think, self-inflicted and also going against us. That's somewhat out of our control as well. But it's just like it never seemed that we built up any sort of momentum that you need and that you'd want to have. And fundamentally, when you're chasing, you need to be putting pressure on the team that is at the top of the table. And I don't felt that we ever really did. I think when City are chasing a team down like they have done, or when you're in the lead even, but City have shown how to chase, and it's like whenever that team drops points, you win your game, and they know that we cannot drop points today. They play with that added pressure of this team, they actually might catch us. And I think there's been a few times where Liverpool have dropped points even before Saka got injured, and where they drop points. And going back to the Everton game, I think that's a prime example of one where it's like we're playing at home against Everton. They get a player sent off in the first half. I know that those lot go into halftime. It's still 0-0, fine. But they go into halftime. You can see Liverpool are losing. I think it was to Fulham, potentially. Liverpool are losing. Andy Robertson's been sent off. If we win today, we can close that gap to, I think we could have closed it down to like three or 4 points, right? And for the second half in that match, we didn't have a shot in the last, I think, 15 or 20 minutes, Everton at home. So I'm saying, like, if you guys can't rise it at this pivotal moment where you can put pressure on, I'm questioning your mentality as to whether or not you can even win the 4 or 5 games in a row that it requires to make a team really feel, the heat on the back of their necks kind of thing. And so, yeah, I just feel like we weren't really playing that well, weren't up to speed. And then when that gets compounded with the injuries, I think with the Saka one and then the Gabriel Jesus, and then the club basically deciding that, they're going to run with the forwards that we have in a January window, I think it was always going to be a tall order to even really put the pressure on. So I think the injuries really just compounded, I think, our lackadaisical start to the season, to be honest. And I think this is how Liverpool have won the title the last few times they've won it. It's they've gone uncontested, basically, and that's not to take credit away from them, because I think on the slot, I was chatting to Mike in the week as well. I think on the slot deserves a lot of credit because fundamentally, at the start of the season, I thought Klopp did a fantastic job last year, and I think people shouldn't do this whole, oh my god, it's an indictment on Klopp that Slot won the league, because I just don't agree, because the circumstances of Liverpool season last year were very different to this one. Around this time, I think Mo Salah was still out injured. He has 3 months out after a very, very good start to the season. They had a lot of injuries, and I think Klopp navigated that whole period really, really well, including winning the cup final against Chelsea, playing Jadon Danns and Bobby Clark and all of these like random youth players. Connor Bradley, had his breakout last year. We didn't know who he was last year. And eventually they just kind of ran out of steam given the style of play and all of this. And look, coming into this season, after the summer that Liverpool had, I wasn't really seeing how Slot was going to be able to improve on that coaching performance, to be honest. But he's come in, and I think you have to credit him with the emergence of Gravenberch in the 6th position. I think the form of Cody Gakpo playing out on the left. I credit him with not leaning into Darwin Núñez as much as Klopp, not leaning into the likes of Endo as much as Klopp as well. And so he's managed to get an extra, element from this team. And then obviously, I don't know how much you guys have seen, but I've seen a couple bits about, sports science and how he's managed the fitness of them. So, it allowed the team to really lean on those, 4 superstars that they do have. Mo Salah obviously being the gems, the gem of them. So yeah, I think he deserves big credit for the way that he's maneuvered this season, because if you look at it, they're in the cup final as well. They topped the Champions League group stages. They're top of the Premier League on a 90-point pace. So, I think you just have to hold your hands up and say you just got slapped.
Cool. And what are your thoughts on Arteta? Obviously, you've had a few key players go out of injury. You've had some key players put together, to be quite frankly, shocking seasons. Where are you at with the manager, the personnel? What are you looking to see in summer to hopefully get you over that hump? City are going to be back. You assume Chelsea are going to be a little bit better last season than they were this season. So there'll be a few teams gunning at the top of the table. So what do you need to see on your team?
Yeah, I need. There's a couple of things that I need to see, man. I'm not happy with our style of play this season. I think he's made some adjustments to our play last season, and I think he did that in the second half to good effect. Obviously, we went on a really good run to close out the season, and I felt that he didn't do enough in the summer. I think we just got by last year with this like Havertz conversion to a striker, Declan Rice coming into midfield. But I think for me it was clear that there was still some holes for us to really improve on tactically. We were having arguments in TG about the level of threat that we have in all the games. Like, so we went out the Champions League to Bayern Munich, where Thomas Tuchel gave the lowdown before the match, how he's going to beat Arsenal or how he's going to stop us from playing. I'm going to lock down that right side, stop the ball getting to Saka. And then we didn't have an answer to that. And I don't think the manager, I think he had an idea about how he could, vary our threat, but it's not quite worked out. Calafiori signing, Marino signing. Calafiori's had a lot of injury problems. Marino just looks plain poor, does not look like a good player at all. And so that's meant that we've ended up in a similar situation, I think, to last year, where we're using Declan Rice you know, like a dirty sponge, you know, just like trying to rinse everything we can out of him. He's carrying an injury, broken foot, has been for all season, not able to get any rest. We, you know, did the same to Kai Havertz, did the same to Saka. Looks like Martinelli also struggling with fatigue as well. I think Saliba has had, you know, a kind of, I think he still had a good season, but he's not necessarily been at the, you know, peak of his powers. Probably been overplayed as well for me. Ben White obviously played through a number of injuries last year, started the season playing through injuries. So I just don't think we've really done enough to take the pressure off some of our main guys. And some of our main guys have not been playing well either. So, you know, I look at the manager and say, in the summer, you need to now retool this squad with some of the profiles, some of the attributes that we're missing. You know, we don't really have enough dribblers. We don't really have enough, I think, technicians in the final third, enough creativity in the final third. So for me, you know, people are talking about signing Kimmich. I'll be happy to get him in as a, you know, Partey, Jorginho replacement. I think that would be a good signing. But then on top of that, I would want to see like a more attacking midfielder to come in and just give you some variation in that attack, you know, and have a real final third specialist. Pardon?
What's your take on Odegaard? He's had some attacks this season. People have
he's not had a good season, man. He's not had a good season. He's been really bad in a number of games. And like, to tell you the truth, I'm not surprised, right? Like, I think, you know, some people like Disu were doing way too much on the pod last week when you're saying, oh, he can't do this, he can't do that. I think you don't need to go that far because, you know, he's clearly shown the level of player that he can be when he's playing at his best, right? He's been Arsenal's player of the season 2 years in a row when we've been challenging for the title. So this isn't some, you know, meaty guy, but, you know, he's one of our best players. He's our captain. So he needs to play better, like simple facts of it. And for me, I think it's an issue when you have one source of creativity, because when that person isn't playing well or they're injured, then where do you turn to? Where does the team turn to? It's got nowhere to turn to. And I think, you know, the fact that teams can basically just choose to key on Odegaard or key on Saka, key on that right side, and the rest of the team has got no answers is a big problem that we need to
really the guy behind you being one of those players, Martinelli.
Yeah, it's one of the things that we need to address, right? So this is one of the issues that I have with the system is that if I told you to describe Martinelli as a player, Morayo, I'm not going to say something different to you. I'm not going to call him a 1v1 specialist. I'm not going to say, you know, this guy is a quality dribbler, this, that, and the other. For me, Martinelli is a guy who wants to get in behind, get on the end of chances, score. I think he can assist as well. Quick shift on the outside, left foot cross, cut back on his right, cross it in. He can do that, but he's not got the guile. He's not got the 1v1 ability to really, you know, cook man, saute man, and, you know, create a goal for himself, that kind of thing. I think he's got quick feet inside the box. He's really sharp-footed, but he's not really got them, you know, dribbly skills. So if I'm the manager, why am I putting a player of that description 1v1, 1v2 every game and asking him to, you know, create water out of wine? It's not going to work, right? So, you know, when we have seen Martinelli do well, it was on the transition. It was not against settled defenses, you know, or if it was against settled defenses, he's in the box already on the end of chances. Do you get what I mean? So, you know, I just have issues with some of the player utilization. Same thing with Declan Rice, that, you know, we know what this guy is really good at, right? I think he can pass, but he's not a guy that I want in the pockets receiving on the half turn. You know, I don't want him receiving loads of balls in the final third unless he's already on the move, already on the run, carrying it from deep. So why would I play him as if he's Iniesta, asking him to, you know, make runs in behind, receive in the pockets and turn and create something for the attackers? It doesn't make sense. You know, Declan Rice's best performances, none of them have come with him doing that. You know, again, another player who I think is actually really good on the transition, starting attacks, running from deep. So why are we not utilizing him in that way and asking him to play like Martin Odegaard on the other side? It's just very silly. So, yeah, I think my main issues comes to player utilization. How are you platforming this attack when you're utilizing players in that way? You know, because now we've got these guys out, you're asking inferior players to try and mimic what Saka's doing. It's not going to look good. It's not going to work. So, you know, we are where we are.
Fair enough. Can't really say more than that. Intrigued to see what happens in the summer, what moves you make. Yeah, got some experienced heads leaving, but your team clearly needs a massive uptick in attacking quality. Let's quickly talk.
We're playing you next week, yeah. That is going to be a hellish game to watch, man. That's going to be so boring.
Yeah. What day are we playing? We're playing on a Sunday, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah. Cheeky little nil-nil.
Trafford.
Cheeky little nil-nil draw would do me. Cool. Let's quickly talk about midweek. You're in the Champions League, aren't you?
Yeah, we play on Tuesday. PSV.
That's
PSV away. Yeah.
Van Persie's new team.
No, he's at final. He's at final.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we avoided him.
Okay. All right. PSV have they sold hold on, let me just check something. I don't say the wrong thing. Give me 2 seconds.
They signed Lucas Perez.
That was it. Yeah, they signed Lucas, who must be 40 by now. Like, what the hell's going like?
38.
Yeah, 36.
Okay.
How are you feeling going into that game? Like, Ajax have been able to come from the back, and they're now top of the Dutch league. So PSV and Feyenoord have been in pretty mediocre recent form. How are you feeling going into this Champions League? Because it's your last opportunity at real silverware, right?
Man, we're not winning no Champions League, man. Let's be real here, yeah. Let's be real. We're not winning the Champions League. But it will be nice, I think, to play against one of the Madrid teams if we are able to get through. So that's I think the motivation. Seeing another big game this year for us to have some small hopes of competing and potentially winning in. But I'm not going to lie, this PSV game is going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. I think.
Why? What threats do they like? They're signing Lucas Perez. Like, what genuine threats do they have for you?
It's not even about us. Like what they can do to us. It's about our lack of threat, which just means that anything, just even if they get a penalty, a set piece, if they score first, we might just be cooked. Like, we might actually just be fully cooked. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah, I'm refusing to accept that, Koogs. I'll be honest.
Man. You can't be talking like this.
They've actually got decent attackers. So,
I'm refusing to accept that.
Noah Lang is good. That plays for them. That Bakayoko is good. That plays for them. But like fundamentally, we legit can't score goals right now. Like,
United can't score goals. Like, you're not United, and this is not a shot, Morayo. Don't come for that.
I wasn't taking as a shot. It was
like United. Legitimately.
Did you guys watch the West Ham game?
Yeah, listen. I agree that you struggle to score goals against Premier League level opposition.
Yeah.
From a physicality perspective, like, you don't have the guys in the final third that can do what, like, win their battles one-on-one physically. Be that be speed, be that be strength, be that be agility. But I think against a team from the Dutch league,
you're gonna mash them up, bro.
I don't know about mash them up, but I think it'll be all right.
The thing is,
Sterling, I know you've got one more in you, bro.
Nah, come on, man. The thing is, if I'm being serious, we should be going through. Yeah, let me not lie. We should be going through, but I just worry about our ability to score. Can we get something off a set piece? Potentially. I don't think they will be as good potentially as some of the Premier League teams at, maybe doing the deep block stuff, because they are one of the better teams in the Eredivisie, that kind of thing. But I just worry about our ability to score, and I think when you don't have the ability to reliably get goals, then anything can happen in a football game, and that's what I'm worried about, basically. But we played them in the group stages last year under the same manager. We beat them 4-0 at home, but obviously that was our first choice attack. So I think by the second leg, I'm not sure when the second leg is, Martinelli might be back for that, which should be quite good. He is quite effective, I think, at getting chances in the Champions League. And then, if we do get through, then, after international break, I think Saka could be back as well. So that might be,
You've got to listen, if you can get a couple of you guys back, I don't know. Getting Saka back, Martinelli back for the run-in. It's not a small thing. You're a little dark horse, potentially in the Champions League. Little dark horse.
They're not winning.
Nah, I think they get through this
Dark
first
horse. I
round.
didn't say you're winning dark horse. Team
I'm saying whoever they
team
face
won't want to
next,
meet you in a dark alley.
they're gonna get mashed up. It doesn't matter which Madrid team they face. If they play how they've been doing,
Atletico, they might have something for Atletico, but Real Madrid.
I'm not gonna lie,
Atletico
Atletico
mad.
moving kind of mad still.
Bro, trust me, as a man who's known to put an acca on Atletico, they love letting you down exactly when you expect them to get the job done. Trust me. Trust me. Don't you worry about Atletico, but Madrid, yeah, that's a bombastic side eye. Trust me, you'll get dealt with by Madrid. I've already spoken about you guys played AZ. Yeah, you guys have already beaten them this season. So I'd expect you guys to go through. We've got Real Sociedad. I don't know. I don't even know who the hell plays for them anymore, to be honest with you.
No, Sociedad are decent, but I reckon you can get past it. They're not. Yeah, it's just a case of whether you're going to turn up.
Obviously, they've got Kubo. They still got Oyarzabal if he's not injured.
You got a decent squad.
I don't know who the hell these players are, bro, but you don't need to know who the hell these players are. When the mid-table Premier League teams come up against a mid-table team from the team in the continent, we typically get cooked.
Is your side of the draw got Atletico Bilbao? Because it's their stadium that is hosting the final.
It does. United do have them on that side. Yeah.
We're not the same way Arsenal aren't winning the Champions League. We ain't winning the brother. We're 15th in the Premier League. We're talking about winning the Europa League, please.
Yeah, but obviously,
He's scammed the FA Cup last season.
So wise man would say, "Let's be guided."
Yeah, true. Let's really be guided here. We're doing too much. We're looking into the future, and the future's telling us no.
No, yeah, it's a horrible time. It's a horrible time to be a Manchester United fan. I'd rather we just go out now. Just go out now. Just the less games I have to watch of this team, for me, the better.
If you got listen, okay,
my thing is always good though. If you insult me, it's a booster.
No, but Holland's always good, man. Always good. It can just add some unexpected shine to just a miserable.
No, I'm not going to accept that because Arsenal fans are always telling us, "Oh, what you think we want to do well in the cups? It's the league. It's the league that matters."
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna listen. I'm not gonna
listen. Go on. Listen, I'm talking from a fan's perspective. Yeah, of watching your own team. Mm-hmm. It can add some shine in the whole bigger picture thing. Yeah, the league stuff, whatever, that applies. But just as a fan supporting your team, a cup run is just nice, man. It's nice.
We've done that.
I wanted to ask this question about.
We are not a good side. We are not.
I wanted to ask this question about United and Spurs. Actually, well, Spurs is worse. Spurs are on 14 defeats. I think United are on 12.
Yeah.
With
what? I mean, you checked 11... it, so you know we are. Yeah.
With I think there's like 11 games left in the league, obviously depending on what we're out of the domestic cup, so what does that matter? But out of the remaining games, where are the victories coming from? Because for Spurs, I couldn't tell you who we're beating if we're beating.
I think I said Leicester and Ipswich. We obviously just about beat Ipswich. After Leicester, I don't really see any others, to be honest with you.
There is no way we could be looking at. I mean, Spurs could, but there's no way we could be looking at
40 points.
No, I'm saying there's no way Spurs and United could be looking at 18 defeats.
I mean, it's likely, but guy, like I'm looking at our remaining games.
Mathematically, it's definitely
we've got Arsenal. We're away at Leicester. We're away at Nottingham Forest. We've got City coming to ours. We're away at Newcastle. We've got Wolves coming to us. We're away at Bournemouth. Away at Brentford. We've got West Ham coming to us. Last game of the season, Chelsea. Not nice.
Oh, Kafra.
That's not nice. Like you're looking at that, and the majority of those teams are teams that are top half of the table. Arsenal top half of the table, Forest top half of the table, City top half, Newcastle top half, Bournemouth top half, Brentford are above us, and Chelsea are above us. So then you've got West Ham who are above us. You have got Wolves who are below us, and you got Leicester who are below us. I see maybe 2-3 wins.
2-3 wins will put you on what? 40.
Put us on 42. Or two will put us on 39. A third will put us on 42. Assuming there'll be some draws in there as well. Yeah, we don't even have like the quality of a player like Ahmad, who was kind of carrying the team before his injury.
Ahmad was doing well.
Giving you them buzzer beaters against Southampton, you know, crazy stuff, man.
Yeah,
crazy stuff.
It is what it is, brother.
2 points for United. I never thought I'd see it.
Stuff. Dismal season, man. And
you're
then we're
building a
gonna
new
have
stadium.
top end guys jubilant over summer, man. This is crazy. I'm just
yeah. This is just hell. This is just hell. Like, it's what's going on? You're living in hell, man. Let's get on to awards, listeners' questions. Crack on with the rest of our evenings, man. Awards. Get Big Sam in as defensive coach if he ain't managing. I'm going to start with you, Koogs. Who's your manager of the week? It can be for positive or it can be for negative performance.
Mine's from Arteta, man. The West Ham stuff, man. I'm sorry. I'm not having our injuries. Therefore, we can't create chances, man. Like, nah, it's not good enough.
Really?
It's not good enough. Damn. Yeah, it's not, man. It's not. I'm sorry. It's not good enough. I'm not having it. He needs to write something, man.
Fair. Okay. For me, Fabio Silva, 2 wins this week, 1 away at Wolves. Obviously, he's got in his team through to the last 8 of the FA Cup. They're at home in that tie.
Marcus
Silva. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So anything can happen, but just a good manager. Obviously, he a few years ago came to Europe, to England, with a bit of a big reputation. I think it was. Did he come to Hull first? And he was trying to make a name here, and it didn't work. He's still only 47. He's still only 47. So I think a couple of solid seasons at Fulham, and he's probably like keeping an eye out for roles in bigger, better teams, not necessarily just here, but on the continent. So Marco Silva for me. Yaw.
I was gonna say the West Ham manager, but you know, that was just me being rude and disrespectful. I'm not gonna say that. For me, it's actually, I know their results weren't necessarily great, but it would be David Moyes. I think him returning at the grand old age that he's at, and what he's done with Everton has been quite a nice throwback to, you know, the old school ways of Premier League football, Barclays football.
He's got a tune at a Beto, man, which I didn't think was possible, bro. So
yeah. You got man thinking he's LeBron. It's disrespectful, man. Honestly, I've had enough.
Yeah. Agreed. Cool. It's not double denim. So this is the moment that had you rattled this week. For me, that Lindelof miss just now. Like, why was he taking a penalty? Why the hell was? And I completely understand this. Like, whoever wants to stand up and be accounted for, they're the ones who should take them. There was no chance in hell the guy was scoring. No chance in 1,000 summers he was scoring that penalty, man. So yeah, my head went then. Yaw, what moment had you rattled this week?
Spence not starting against Man City. I don't get it. Like the brother had man of the match performances, and then you decide to bring Pedro Porro back onto the. Jesus, I've had enough, man. Honestly, I can't wait for this kangaroo to be gone, bro. I don't watch Home and Away. I don't watch Neighbours. Australian TV is dead. Like, please leave me alone.
TV there though. Cool. Koogs, what moment? It's not double denim. What moment had you rattled, sir?
It's all West Ham, man. It's all West Ham. I'm not gonna lie, man.
It's all East London.
How were you guys against Nottingham Forest? I didn't catch that.
We were better, but I think in the first half, especially, I think we actually played with the right kind of intensity that I wanted to see against West Ham. To be honest, I feel like even if your forwards aren't there, like, you need to at least put the team under duress, make it look like you're a bit more threatening. We still weren't super threatening against Forest, but I did think we moved the ball much faster. Probably Jorginho helped with that over Cooked Party. And that is the moment that had me most rattled, is that Party came off the bench, against Forest, and because I've just remembered it now, and he immediately lost the ball, right? Immediately. And I wanted to throw the remote at the TV that you've just come on your fresh legs. Why are you moving mad? And I just think the guy is so bad now, on and off the ball. So yeah, that is the moment that had me rattled.
Fair enough. Next one is the no agenda of the week. My agenda is just the fact that people just feel like Ruben Amorim just deserves more time. Like that's my agenda. Like you don't just get to have more time, bro. Like, sorry, I'm like I need like I know the players are shit. There's no fight in this team. Tactically, we're not coming into games with different game plans to try and exploit the weaknesses of our opposition. And we're just kind of getting railroaded most games. There's a diamond lack of quality, but we have to fight. Like he's not even got these boys fighting, man. Like they're a bit better when we play like top 6 sides, as you saw in the games against City and Liverpool a few months ago. But all the other games, it's not there, and that's just not good enough for me, man. Because you're gonna have to you're not getting rid of all of these players in the summer, so some of them are gonna be with you next season. So yeah, it's just damning. How about you, Koogs? What's your agenda of the week?
What is my agenda of the week?
West Ham.
What is my agenda of the week? It's a difficult one, man. It's a difficult one. I might have to start an agenda on. I'm not going to do the Chido Obi one, to be honest. I think Arsenal fans are doing too much on that. Aiden Heaven 1-2. I may have to start an agenda on Max Dowman, you know, the Arsenal player. Yeah,
I've heard of him. Yeah, why would you start an agenda?
I might start an agenda him just because man are doing a lot. Yeah, for a 15-year-old kid playing in the Arsenal academy. Like I just couldn't believe what I was seeing the other day from an FA Youth Cup match that we lost, by the way. And I'm seeing every third tweet was this 15-year-old, this 15-year-old, this 15-year-old. Man are putting him into lineups next season, this, that, and the other. I'm like, yo, like, can we just chill out, please, and let the kids play? In fact, I'm not going to start an agenda on the 15-year-old. Any fan that I saw post a clip of this 15-year-old kid from the other day, my agenda's on them. That's what I'm doing.
That's fair. Sounds about right.
Yeah, cool. And then for you, Yao, what moment is your, or not moment, what's your agenda the week?
My agenda is against the Spurs fans, as it has been for most of the season. I think I said this on the last podcast. I'll say it again so that, you know, those Spurs fans that are listening, a large portion of you, not me, I'm quite intelligent, but a large portion of you were in set 10. You're stupid. You're pure and utter fools of society, because you've gone and believed that we can go and win the Europa League, and everything we've just seen this season is all washed over. It's all hunky-dory. Our sins are washed away. Well, as far as I'm concerned, you lot are idiots, and my agenda will remain against you guys until you are rid of my club, the same way I got rid of Tobias's favourites. And soon, at some point down the road, I'll get rid of Tobias as well. You know, until he sees sense. If he sees sense, he can stay. But if he wants to keep, you know, parading stuff like Højbjerg is a quality player, then he has to go.
Understood, brother. Understood. Let's finish up with the underrated. I know I have talent. ESR award. Yeah, who's your underrated player of the week?
Ooh, I don't know if he'd be considered underrated, but I don't think he's getting the high enough plaudits for the fact that he's 18 and really, like, it looks like he could be snatching people's change before the end of the season. So for me, my underrated player is Bergwijn.
Okay. Koogs, who's your underrated player?
That guy Welbs, man. That guy Welbs. Yeah, that's my underrated player of the week. Very, very, very good goal against Newcastle today. And I think he had a good season last year and is continuing this year at age 34, man. So, yeah, big up him. I always like to see him score. Always been a fan of his, even when he was at United, Sunderland loans and all of that stuff. So it's good to see him, you know, come through the injuries and get some decent form again, man, for Brighton.
Just a good pro, a pro's pro, bro. I'm gonna with my Dorgu. I'm gonna get my stocks in nice and early. Obviously, he didn't come for a small fee. I think around 40 million euros. But I think he's going to establish himself as a really good wing back in world football next season. Already been able to see him cooking up some stuff in this putrid team. When you can get a bit more quality around him, players who can actually find him, I think we'll get to see a bit more of the quality that he possesses. Cool. Let us finish up with some listeners' questions, gentlemen. First one comes from Teo Technology. Where does Arne Slot win the Premier League in his first season with minimal signing rank? Other platforms ranking it second behind Ranieri, but ahead of Jose's Chelsea and Wenger's double, presumably based on debut full seasons.
It's up there, isn't it? It's like it's very. Wait, was Ranieri?
Why I wouldn't put it. I don't know. We'll see how it ends, right? If he wins the league and Champions League and Carling Cup,
then it's got to be number one. Yeah,
you know, you might have to put it right up there, man. So yeah, it depends how it ends. If it's just the league, I wouldn't have it above Wenger's league and cup double. Personally.
But this is what. But the question. Correct me if I'm wrong. But is the question about first season? Doing it in your first. So Wenger did it in his first season, right? The double, right?
First full season, yeah. He came like partway through the season before.
Okay, so then, all right, first full season. Did Gus Hiddink do a first season with a double with Chelsea? Was it him or Ancelotti?
He didn't win the title.
He didn't win the title? No. I just remember somebody winning the title with Chelsea.
Ancelotti won the title in his first season, I think.
Okay.
Ancelotti won the title.
Mourinho did as well, to be fair.
Didn't Conte as well?
Yeah, Conte did.
Yeah, Conte did.
Ranieri didn't win it in his first season because his first season was 15-16. I think they won it 16-17, right?
No, Ranieri might be the first.
Ranieri did do it. He did do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it then. It's Ranieri, isn't it?
Ranieri.
Title with Leicester in your first season.
I think I don't think anything's going to top the Leicester season, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. They were almost relegated. He came in.
The difference between some of the teams, right? I think with Wenger, Arsenal weren't really title contenders before he came in, right? I think we came 12th under Bruce Rioch, and then Wenger came in, and then he won the title. So, and obviously winning the FA Cup as well. Whereas I think Liverpool have been like a top team with the same players for a number of years, so that's why I'd probably put him below that. But obviously, if he wins the league, Champions League, then yeah, he can have that spot, man. That's fine.
Yeah, fair. Next one is from James NUFC 92. Arsenal fans have rejoiced. Arsenal fans today have rejoiced in Newcastle's FA Cup exit, which shames them the most. Losing 5-0 to Newcastle over the last 3 games, being in less finals than Newcastle this season, having to cry about Newcastle after whimpering out of the, in inverted, title race.
I mean, these Newcastle fans are trying to like make a rivalry here, yeah. And it's just like, I don't know. I called these Arsenal fans, I called them losers, yeah. Because I'm like, who gives a shit like about Newcastle? I'm sorry, I don't care about Newcastle. They're not on my mind. We're not rivals. I'm not using Newcastle as any sort of barometer on my season. Oh, Newcastle got to a cup final. Win the cup, man. Newcastle haven't won a trophy in like 65 years or something like that. Are they going to beat Liverpool in the cup final? I very much doubt it. And if they lose, I'm not going to go there and at James NUFC after be like, ha, you lost the final, because I don't care.
Of course you don't, but this is, you have to understand, it's a plucky younger brother taking on the older brother, and it's like, yeah, you're my little brother, I don't care. Go and do your homework. Nah, you're going to respect me. So how your stance is exactly how I expect your stance to be, but Newcastle fans, their stance is exactly how I expect their stance to be. Simple.
Yeah, that's calm. No, I'm not criticizing Newcastle fans. They can do what they like. I'm criticizing the Arsenal fans who are rising to it, bro. Like, what's going on, man?
Listen, you need something. I'd say they're losing 5-0 to Newcastle over the last 3 games. They've clearly got your number, and there aren't many teams left in the league who do. But there is something. It's an underbelly thing that they've clearly noticed, and more teams should try and target. But obviously, they have that. They have a really physical, nasty team. So clearly, that's still something
that Joe
teams
Linton cheat code, man. That Joe Linton
cheat code. Yeah. Even though I believe that for them to get better, he has to come out of the team. Next one from Tile Technology again. Thoughts on the comments made by Carragher regarding AFCON. Not sure if it was discussed in the last pod. It wasn't. What are your thoughts on Carragher's commentary AFCON?
I think one of the things that I find fascinating, like, is how pundits, especially like Carragher, are given so much license to, like, say ludicrously takes. And not, they get checked, but they don't really get checked. Like on T, like it's like, no, it's not that, blah, blah, blah. He mentioned obviously that, you know, it's not a major tournament. He said nothing about, you know, South American tournaments. Obviously that's in the summer. And said nothing about Asia Cups, which is also in the same month as the AFCON. It's literally, he said he mentioned not a single thing about it. And my whole thing is all of this chat of like, okay, it's not a major tournament and all that kind of stuff, bro. I hate looking at stats for stuff like this, but the statistics are there. Like there was bare people watching the AFCON. Yeah, fine. The technical or the high technicality of the tournament might have not been it. Yeah, but listen, you're not getting a bigger tournament in Africa outside of AFCON. And I'm talking about the whole continent. You're not getting a single tournament, yeah, that's going to be bigger than that for any of the nations. So you can't come around and be talking so wicked like that on flipping national TV and not get checked. And of course, it would be the two former black players sitting beside him that declared for England that would be flipping, not just barely checking him on the side. Like
former black. What are they now?
Bruv, they're whatever they are, bruv. Like, because if had it been Obi Mikel, yeah, we've seen on his podcast, he'd have been like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, like, he would have checked.
What about Obi Mikel's accent though?
Yeah, it's mad.
That's like, I got bare cousins that talk like that as well, man.
Yeah, that accent is also scandalous. Personally, for me, AFCON and the Copa America are not major tournaments. Sorry. I mean, I know they are in theory because they're a whole continent's tournament. So but in terms of how I look at them, they don't move me. Neither tournament.
Oh no, if that's your stance, even if that was Carragher's stance, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, but to say that I acknowledge that that's a major tournament for the Asians.
Yeah, that's not a major tournament to me, like, respectfully. The only major continental tournament to me is a Euros, even though, you know, in theory, any tournament that's a continent coming together has to be considered major. But in terms of me, Morayo, how do you respect it? And you look at, oh, this team won X, Y, Z. Yeah, not for me.
Morayo and Carragher came from the same group, bro. My issue with it is just that it was just... It was just a bit too ignorant, his statement, right? And I don't like it. I think the way he said it was just too easy for him to just come out with it, right? Which exactly. I think shows a poor frame of mind in how he views the tournament, right? I think he put his foot in it, like, very blatantly. And I'll disagree with you a bit, yeah, because I think Michael Richards and Sturridge did a good job of checking him.
It got real awkward for him.
Yeah. So I think they did it without, you know, like, making it into a big thing from their perspective. And obviously we saw the fallout. My thing is, right, I personally think the quality in AFCON is improving. You know, like, you see a lot of these players are now declaring for their home nations over. I think a lot of the North Africans are doing that now instead of declaring for France. You'd like to see a lot more of the sort of the English guys start doing the same for the West African countries as well. I think it's stuff like that. It halters progress and inhibits progress and how things are viewed. Because for me, a lot of big Premier League players, you know, are African ballers. You know, your Didier Drogba's, your JJ Okochas, your Karnus, your Mo Salahs, your Sadio Manes. Riyad Mahrez and all of that, right? Like these men have all gone to that tournament. Some of them have won it, others haven't. And I think it's a big disrespect to some of the big names that we've seen in the Prem, the best player in the Premier League now. And Carragher just loves doing that to Salah, and I don't know why. He loves kind of like small boying him a bit too often, and I think he just it was just a bit too disrespectful, and he didn't really need to, word it in that way.
If I was on that sort of platform, I'm not saying what I just said. Like any continental tournament is a major tournament. It's a combination.
And I think you can make the point. You can make the point that you're making.
Yeah,
you can make the point that you want to make without disrespecting the tournament. I think because I think the point he's trying to make is that when it comes to the voting for the big trophies, they don't weight enough AFCON as highly as they do a Euros and a World Cup, which is a statement of fact, right?
Yeah.
That, like, I think which is a fair comment. So, but I don't think that you now they need to now denigrate the AFCON to make that point. And I think it was just a clear show of ignorance that he's conflating the two things, basically. Yeah.
I agree. Next question is from Dr. Mike. Question for Mr. Boogs. Who do this current iteration of Arsenal remind him of more? Allardyce's Bolton or Pulis's Stoke? Because he quote tweets a tweet where you asked, can you ask Dr. Doolittle, aka Dr. Mike, if Arsenal still look like Tuchel's Chelsea? So yeah
that was from last year, man, where he made the shout, got his head slapped. Now he's trying to clap back, man. As is his right, as is his right. But neither Tony Pulis or Sam Allardyce, we're in our own Arteta-gatory, of dire football, and it's a bit different to those guys, but it's not great either.
Fair. Next one is from Miraculous Miri. Someone on a football-based podcast made a comment that Pep felt a strain in his UCL win with an out-and-out striker, as if he wants to win with tiki-taka possession, control-based domination. Do you think Arteta's reluctance to sign a striker comes from the same fixation?
I don't know if I agree, to be honest, because he had Aguero, right? Who I think was an out-and-out striker. I just think it was circumstance with Pep that Aguero was never fit. But I do think Arteta has a fixation with sort of how he's tried to evolve the team, with the use of that Kai Havertz left centre mid role. I think he needs to adapt and evolve again. For me, I think if you look at it, like our big game record is very, very good. Over the last 2 years, I think it's unbeaten in 18 matches in the league, including I think going back to the City 4-1 match where they slapped us. And I think he sort of overcorrected and over-adjusted for some of the other games that we played where in that season we did very, very well against basically everyone else bar Man City in that season, right? And I feel like he's now fixated on sort of that Kai Havertz box crashing role to the detriment of the team and other positions. And so I think he needs to come out of that hole and turn that role back into more of a midfielding role, like it was when we had Xhaka in there. So yeah.
Fair. Next one is from Anyaneme 49524. With the rise of Pep Ball as the standard for top managers, seems there's no way fair players can survive under such systems and managers. Will this mean we'll never see another Neymar? As such, players will have to cut their flair in order to survive at the top.
No, we'll see another Neymar. But yeah, the way football is nowadays, it is very systematic and it's very like it's over. I think players are being over coached. But we definitely will see another, like like any sport, things go around in cycles. We're just in this current era, it will come to an end and, something new will come along.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I think those flair players are the ones that all these clubs are looking for in the final third to be the difference makers, the space creators, the game winners. You look at Spain and what turned them from like a quarter-finally last 8 Euros World Cup level side to the champions of Europe was two kids on the wing who are an absolute madness. Like you look at the stuff that Lamine is doing on a week-by-week basis, and it's absolutely jaw-dropping, right? And Nico Williams is a one-on-one demon, right? So I think there'll always be space for that. Vinicius, who you could argue has been one of the top 3 players in world football for the last few years, again, a one-on-one monster. So there will always be space for those sort of players. I think where it becomes more difficult is that you won't be given that kind of license to just do it. It has to be output.
You need to get output as well.
Output. So Doku's a player who, really good one-on-one, can beat players. We saw what he did to Trent last weekend. Everyone like, but no good crosses though. You didn't get the ball into a dangerous area. You didn't create any chances. And fair enough. But sometimes just enjoy it. Just enjoy a wide man cooking.
Just like the cooking, man. Just like the cooking.
Enjoy a wide man cooking his fullback again and again and again. What's also killing me is how divested from Trent Liverpool fans have become. And they don't even defend him anymore.
They hate his guts.
That's Real Madrid's problem.
They hate his guts. They absolutely hate him.
It's been crazy to watch it.
I've never seen it happen like this before. They've switched off completely. He as far as they're concerned, he does not exist.
I don't know, bro. Yeah.
If they weren't winning the title and he was making this move, it would be real nasty out there.
Yeah. He's lucky.
It would be real nasty out there.
It'd get dark fast.
And it's almost like a secondary story to the fact that they're winning the title. But if they're like 3rd or 4th, and he was serving up these performances, and then he was going to Real,
myth.
Bro, guy would have to get security.
Myth.
Cool. And last question from Baitface Nate: should United look to re-sign Danny Welbeck?
No.
Well, he'd be a best striker for sure.
Yeah, he would be, but no. Stop it.
But he's 34, man.
That's not even the reason. It's just no. You just have to move on.
I'm so intrigued as to what we're gonna do in that striker position this summer.
Do you think you just get the guy from Sporting though?
Gyökeres?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that we've got that much money to spend on a striker.
I heard they're dropping the price though because no one's coming in for him.
For what? Dropping it to what?
To like 50 to 60.
No.
What was it meant to be before that?
85.
Yeah, they're crazy. 50 to 60, still a bit less, my boy.
I don't. Yeah, something's gone wrong there. No, that doesn't make sense.
I mean, he's putting up crazy numbers still, but yeah, we can't like in Højlund and Xerxes, that's already 40 mil of transfer. 40 plus 73 mil, right? That's 100 mil plus. You get another one for 50, 60. That's 160 million on 3 strikers. He has to. Like with that, probably something like $500,000 a week in wages. Yeah, this is what hell looks like, guys.
I think Højlund or Xerxes, one of them won't be here next season.
But where did I know we answered this earlier, but like it's not like they're gonna be able to just sell one of these guys. They're gonna have to like.
I don't get it. Why not? Why not just add him to the transfer list, man?
Yeah, but who's
someone
going?
Someone will drop loan with option of 35.
Yeah, somebody will drop a lot. But remember the value. Yeah, you.
Because I think that 73 mil was all in as well, Morayo. Yeah, so we know.
No, I don't think it was all in.
Yeah. Retract that.
No, but I'm saying you think what? See, that was the figure. No add-ons.
I'm sure it was. It was initially 64 with 8 in add-ons.
Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, 60.
We ain't getting none of them add-ons, bro. I promise.
The add-ons ain't coming through 100%. Yeah, 64 over 5. Yeah, that is 12.8 mil on the on the thing. Yeah, so 2 seasons.
There's 2 seasons. There's 3 left, so that is 36 million. That's 36 million. So we've got to sell bro for 37.
Yeah, so just take a just all I'm saying is loan obligation 40 mil. Bang. That's it.
Nah. I don't see
You
that.
break even. You break even on him, and then you move on.
I think you're right.
I don't think, and it's the thing. I think clubs they need to just learn to just take the hit, even if you take a $5 million loss on him. Yeah, just get him gone.
That's a lot less than the loss you're taking back.
Yeah, that you were originally
and
proposing.
the damage to your team by that player currently staying in it. Yeah, it's probably something we're looking into. And Xerxes, I'm hoping Juventus will come and bag him. Thiago Motta, get the bang back. Get the bang back together.
And Xerxes wasn't that expensive though either. So
Xerxes was 40. 40, yeah.
445. So yeah, we'll see.
Listen, I don't even think United have to get rid of what do you call it? Xerxes. I think Xerxes.
I do.
Now Højlund's the one who needs to go.
Yeah, he's a striker who doesn't score.
Yeah, safe. You didn't need to say it like that. That's disgusting.
But that's what it is. Like, guys are getting moved by him taking nice little touches, jinky, linking up play. Brother gets near and in and around the goal, and he shits the bed. He has got to go. Those are the two moves we need. I reckon Xerxes was probably a 4 year, so it's 10 years amortized. If we can get 30 million for him, Højlund loan, 40 million obligation, we call that financially break even. We're all right. Then we go again. That's what we have to do, man. This is how we do business, man. Tell him to go back to Gasperini. They say to him, "You're not ready. You're not ready." That's what he told him. And probably spent another season or two in Atalanta. He'd be ready now. He is still only 22 years old. So yeah, he just went too soon, and he hasn't really had an opportunity to develop as a player. Yeah, he's 22, turned 22 on the 4th of Feb. So yeah, got to get rid of the two of them this summer, and then we go and get a better striker. All right, gents, it's always a pleasure. Wish you both good luck in your European endeavors during the week. And we go again.
Cool.
Peace.
Yo. When I spit bars in a rave, man, I go hard like Santan.